Grateful, grateful. I can't even finish. That sounded so horrible. Woo! Again, I'm gonna find me a theme song one of these days. But if not, until then, I'm just gonna sing a random song. And it's Thanksgiving, and if you're part of a black church, y'all are singing "Grateful" or "Thank You, Lord" by Mary, Walter Hawkins, Tremaine Hawkins, one of them Hawkins. But today, I am singing "Grateful" by Hezekiah Walker. So go ahead, take it up. But anyway, welcome back to another episode of the Creators World Podcast. I am here, Justin Reeves, your host, and the Creators World Podcast is for Christian creatives and entrepreneurs, and really just purpose seekers, people who are out here trying to do the things that God has called them to do. But this podcast serves as a space in a community for you to be refreshed, renewed, and revitalized so you can continue to do the things that God has called you to do, because we all know that life gets a little hard from time to time. So I am here. It is Thanksgiving week. Before we get started, would love for you to just drop in the chat, like, what's your favorite side for Thanksgiving? Because I feel like I really only go to Thanksgiving for the sides. Like, although my dad can fry the heck out of a turkey, like a fried turkey, out of this world, really good. But I'm really upset because this year we're not getting a traditional Thanksgiving. No, my family has decided to do a fish fry, something that you could do any Friday or Saturday of the year. But the one day of the year we're supposed to have like the traditional meal, we decide not to do it. Am I upset? Yes. Am I still grateful? Maybe. We'll see. But it's not even catfish. But we're not going to focus on me right now. We're going to focus on things above. um, so I wanted to just kind of talk about gratitude. Shocking, right? Um, but like, yeah, like gratitude when it comes down to it, because to be honest, I think life can make it hard to be grateful for things, even though there's a lot of things to be grateful for. But the reality of the situation is like, it's sometimes hard to focus on it. And I know, like, for me as a creative and an entrepreneur, that all the things that I do, like, I go from one thing to the next thing to the next to the next. And I think that one thing I don't do well is slow down well enough to actually like recount what has happened. So this is my attempt at doing that, at least for my business, and I encourage you to do it for um, your own creative pursuits, right? Or even just the year in general. So I'm gonna do like a year recap episode later, like basically probably the week of New Year's, probably. All the stereotypes, all that kind of stuff. But today, I'm going to talk about just things I'm grateful for this year. So I wrote down some stuff because I am a person who it is easy for me to look at the negatives or like the neutrals, if you will, but it's harder for me to find the positives in something. Even though like I know they exist, right? But I think it's just harder for me to find the positive. Like, for example, my hair right now, like this, right? It's always mirrored. This one won't stay where it's supposed to stay. Like, why is this one hanging? Just why? And then, I'm on camera, so it's the other way. I don't know, whatever. So like one could say like, wow, your hair's really moisturized, it's curly, whatever, blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, but this one won't stay where it needs to be, and all of that. But little things. But so while I'm going through the things I'm grateful for, I would love for you guys to drop some stuff that you're grateful for as well. Like, because I think it's really cool to see the wins that other people have, because it encourages you that you too can have, said win later in life, because that's just a thing. Like you want to get to the point where everybody is winning in this creative journey, and that's not always the case. So, but we want it to be the case. Um, and yeah, so first thing I'm grateful for. Oh, grateful for attendees for my events. So this year I have held two events so far, both of which have been paid events, and people bought tickets to both. Which is, it seems like it's not that big of a deal, but for people to spend money, their hard earned money on you, someone who, I'm up and coming, right? Like I haven't been doing this for decades or things like that. Like I don't have a huge following. I don't have all those things. But like for people to believe in what you're putting on enough, or the people that are associated with you enough, right? So at the top of this year, I did the Create as Well event. I will do that again at the top of the year in 2025. Again, more information coming on that later episodes. But I had to create as well, and that was with Ezekiel. He was like our featured like main speaker. So he and I did an interview conversation just talking about creativity and all the things through his entrepreneurial journey. I would probably release that because it was really good. I think that would be really good for people to hear. And then we had Brandy Chu. She was on and she talked about marketing and social media and just kind of like cutting through the noise and being being able to differentiate yourself. That was the big takeaway that I got from her message. In addition to that, like I was able to do a skit. That I wrote the skit that Tandela and Nate were a part of. The band was rocking. I did some original music. I had written 2 songs. My good brother Clay, he produced the heck out of both of those songs, and was really excited to unveil those. What else happened there? Oh, and then Jasmine and Jazir, they came, they blessed the place. Jasmine prayed like prayed down heaven as usual, and then Jazir did a piece by himself. She did a freestyle piece by herself, and they did a piece together. And there were like people that came, and then not only did they come to that event, they actually came to the next one in August, which takes us to Holy Hoodlum, which we talked about in the last episode of like the one that was an uphill battle to say the least for me to build and enjoy. And I'm just grateful that like that I found the joy of the Lord there. And like not even to be like churchy and like cliche there, but like I really did find joy in that process. And that was something I was grateful for because I just don't know that I don't know that I would be doing this right now if I didn't do that. Like I think I was at a very defeated place earlier this year with like pushing forth my own brand and putting forth my things. But like because that went well, I was like, you know what? Like we can do more. So yeah, 2 ticketed events, and the Holy Hoodlum event was the most tickets I've ever sold to an event. So some people from Create as well came, some people that were new from the community came. Like just really exciting, honestly, that like a lot of people came out. And so, shameless plug, I got a free event happening on December 7th at 7 p.m. It's Carols for a Cause. So come out there, same place as all the other events, and you can find the link. You still need to register because, we haven't killed milk and cookies. Well, not milk and cookies, but like cider and cookies. Anyway, second thing I have listed here is I'm grateful for God's promises coming to pass and all things really working out for the good. So, again, sounds super cliche, but like I am somebody who people often like say you're gonna be great and you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, blah blah blah, and I just don't be seeing it because it's like when, right? Like you keep saying this, but when is it going to happen? And in Second Peter 5:7, 3:5, something like that. It says like God is not slack concerning His promises, as others would count slackness. Like He will do it. Like write the vision, make it. That's in Habakkuk 2:2. Write the vision, make it plain, so that people can run with it. Though it may tarry, it will come to pass. But like for me, it's like always that last part. Like it may tarry, it will come to pass. He's not slacked for His promises. He won't forget. And then it goes on. I think later in that Second Peter is like for a day is 1,000 years to Him. And I was like, yeah, I don't have 1,000 years. I don't have 1,000 years to continue to wait. But with that, I have seen things in my life just like really line up. So like, even meeting certain people and then working with them and maybe not working with them as much anymore, but working with people that they're connected to that have really led me even further into different things that I love to do, and like just getting really great opportunities. Like even acts like being able to be a part of Acts 242 was a huge part of one of the things I'm grateful for this year. That's the biggest event I've ever done. I got to use my skills of leading teams and taking care of people well. I was in charge of the volunteer team. I was making sure people were checked in. I was getting all the people into the building. Like it was a lot. It was a lot. I promise you. And I keep saying like all these things, like I'm going to do a video. I'm going to do a video. And I'm going to do another video, not necessarily a podcast episode, but like, subscribe to the channel so you can hear the behind the scenes of Acts 242. And I'm not giving out any like secrets or anything like that. So, but like, stuff that would be helpful for people who like to do this type of stuff. But like, yeah, just doing something like that and just attacking imposter syndrome. I think that's one thing that comes with that, because every time in the past where I've been asked to do something big for somebody else, like imposter syndrome really creeps in, because I'm like, can I really do that? Like, why are they asking you to do that? You've never done something like that. Like, why are you in that? So I'm grateful for that. Next, oh, that kind of goes with it. Grateful for creative expansion and more confidence. So, like I said, at the beginning of this year, I released two songs. They're not like out for like streaming or consumption just yet, but I wrote one of them for you. The song was called "For You." I wrote that in when I was in college, my third year of college, which would have been 2014. So 10 years. Yeah, because I remember talking about this on stage. It was like 10 years. So wrote the song, had the song together, had the harmonies, like literally had written it, like had the harmonies, had the plan of how to go, and then I just got to the point where I just didn't really want to like write music anymore, like do things of that nature, and it just really wasn't a thing for me, right? So this year, well, last year in 2023, I felt really pushed that like I needed to start really releasing gifts to God, right? Like the things that God's given me. And like really using them all for his glory. So like I was like, I need a song. I feel like I need a song for that. Again, like I need a theme song. Like I just be out here just singing at the beginning of all my episodes. So like I need a song for the events that I do. So I had that song, and then I had written another song. It's called "He Is For You." I think like a song for creatives or something like that. It just like the lyrics of it were like, keep believing, keep on trusting, keep the faith that he's got you. I should remember the words to my own song. I actually will probably bring that back, not for Carol's World Calls, but my next event. But anyway, but yeah, just doing that, because I think we get hung up sometimes on like the process, and we glamorize the process. Like the process is super important, and we need to talk through the process, but like it's also important to realize the process, like finish the process, because you can talk about the steps of making the cake, but if you don't make the cake for someone to consume, or even what's even worse, because this is what this was a gratitude episode, but like we're still talking to the creatives, which also means like talking to me. But like we're really good at having the process, having the idea, having the process, going through the entire creative process, finishing the product, and then leaving it on the shelf. So it's like if you were to bake a cake, you get all the ingredients together, you sit there, you let it rise, you let it cook, you let it do whatever, it cools off and it's ready for presentation. And it's pretty, it's beautiful, it's wonderful. But if you don't let people eat it, if you don't let people consume whatever it is that you have created, there's no purpose for it. Like, if it's just there, like who wants a cake that you cannot consume? Again, thinking about Thanksgiving, but I'm not even sure we're gonna like. I really want a pound cake, but my mom's like a German chocolate cake, and I don't want that. But my dad likes it. But anyway, like I said, just getting back as usual, random tangents. But I'm grateful that like I've started actually unveiling these things. Like my notes app, if you look in my notes app, there are full on like plays and plans for events and types of concepts and things that probably I could be out just having a good time doing. But it has taken me a long time to develop the confidence that's necessary to do that. And I'm grateful that the Lord has really blessed me this year and has been with me in my journey to confidence to be able to like actually do this stuff, because like I wouldn't show my face. I didn't want to talk in front of people. And the gag is like, this is gonna sound cocky, but I promise you it's not, because I just finished telling you that I have no confidence. Like I'm actually pretty good at public speaking. Like I'm actually pretty good at teaching. I'm pretty good at the stuff that I'm like been gifted to do. I just like don't do it. And it's rather annoying, and it's frustrating, like right Pete, that people have to force me into the front to do stuff at times. People have to force me to put my idea out there, to lead this project, to lead this endeavor, to lead the event, to do whatever. But like the thing about it is like I know God like is nagging. People say calling, I say nagging. But like the Lord be nagging me heavy. Like I told you to do this. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. And there are times that I'm just heavily disobedient. Um, but working on that. But I think a lot of that comes not so much disobedience for disobedience sake, but like I feel like the confidence is not there. But in this moment, I'm reminded that like in the Bible, people didn't necessarily have confidence. The Lord had to push them out. Like Moses, when he was at the burning bush, and the Lord said, "I am that I am. Go tell Pharaoh to, let my people go. I've heard the cry of my people. Blah blah blah. Like I'm Yahweh. Yeah yeah yeah." And Moses was like, "Well, I can't go because I have a stutter. I'm slow of speech, or I'm all the things." And he's like, "Go, take Aaron with you, but go." You go, you talk to Pharaoh, you do the thing, right? Gideon was like, visited by the angel of the Lord while he was in a wine press. And we're definitely going to talk about that one because if there's somebody I identified with in the Bible, it is Gideon, also Jonah. So, like, I'm stubborn, but also not super confident, which is just really not a good combination, is the word. It's not a good combination at all. But here we are, and we're working through it together, and we're going to talk about it. So, that's that. Oh, I'm also grateful for consistency in what I've done. So, I'm gonna be honest. I thought I was gonna start this podcast and quit within like 3 episodes because confidence, because views, because YouTube, because algorithms, because blah, because. Like I could have found a reason to quit, and like I'm grateful for legitimately every view, everybody who subscribes, who likes, who shares. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, comment, all the above. That'd be great. But I am learning, and I mean learning that like consistency is key. And I'm also grateful not only in the podcast journey, but the workout journey. So like this summer, I started working out a lot of stuff, and I'll probably do like a 2 or 3 part series about like me, my confidence, all the above. But like my confidence is like a self-fulfilling prophecy because like people always say like if you work out you feel better, if you look better you feel better, all the things. And so like for me, um I was athletic growing up. I was a lot smaller a lot smaller growing up. And then there was the college, the freshman 15, and then the sophomore 30. And then like like things just kind of kept happening. And then there was a pandemic because like even after the pandemic, and like I mean even after school and going into the workforce, like I was still like I was like an XL, I think. Yeah, I was an XL at that point. I'm trying to think of that work shirt. Like I was an XL, and then the pandemic hit, and I was no longer an XL, and we just have multiplied and enlarged our territories and our backs and our fronts. And I am in the process of undoing that. And like, let's just get back to the XL. Like, who wants to be a medium? Because that's like really none of my clothes would ever fit again. Um, and I also like I like chicken. So like there is still a very real thing that like I like chicken and fries and yuca and like all the things. So like we're gonna lose weight, but we're not gonna lose all of it, and that's okay. Someone will love me for how however that is. So but yes, but like I've been consistent with working out this year. I've done really well. I think in the summer, I started and successfully lost I think like 25, 20-ish pounds. I gotta go back and like look at the numbers. But then September hit. So I have really bad like fall allergies, and things of that nature. So my asthma and my allergies, like I got was like super windy. Like I was walking outside, having a good time, and then one day I went outside to walk, and I was like, "Whew, I can't do this." Like I was walking back up to like 3 to 4 miles a day, just like spending time like talking to myself, talking on the phone, writing, playing games, like just all sorts of stuff. Just walking through the local YMCA, the park. And it was great. But then fall hits and the weather here was fluctuating like crazy. Like it was 80 degrees, and then it would get like 60, and then it would go back to 80, and so then my asthma and like my seasonal allergies acted up. My asthma got really bad. And so long story short, I was super winded for like 3 weeks straight. So I stopped working out in September, and then October I continued to not work out. I think it just kind of got busy, or just like I just wasn't. October I still wasn't feeling the best. Like yeah, it wasn't good. But they're like now knowing the rhythms of the year, like I probably know spring and fall I'll be less active because of my allergies and whatever, which means I need to go hard in the winter and the winter and summer, and then like the times in between when I can still make it. But that's like lesson for me, right? Things to think about and like forward planning for success for next year, because I think that's something that we should think about. But I started No Excuses November this year, and I said I would do um, no alcohol, so like no mimosas, no margaritas for like Taco Tuesday. It was kind of sad. Um, no, no. So I did four workouts a week, and I've been fairly successful with that. So the first week I did my four. The next week I did three out of the four. I traveled, didn't account for that. And then this past week I did four out of the four. And then this coming week I plan to do four. I've done zero so far, but it's Monday when I'm recording this. This will go out on Tuesday, so I need to do it on Tuesday because I'm gonna be out of town again. So just need to plan accordingly and plan ahead. But yeah, so like been really excited about that. That's been great. It's been a good like mood booster, anxiety killer, like just get like moving your body has so many benefits to it, health benefits for one, but like a lot of mental benefits. Like I feel like the mental fog has lifted in my life because like it has just been heavy lately. Like just the smallest of tasks have been challenging. I feel like it's I won't say like spiritual warfare per se, but like seasonal depression. It's a dark outside. Like at 5 p.m., I just be ready to go to sleep. So grateful for that. Grateful for God giving me great friends and how that's manifested itself. This year has been, sorry, my allergies. This year has been challenging. Like I said, like it has, there's just no other way to put it. And I am so grateful that God saw fit in his mercy and his grace to give me really good connections this year. Um, and it's not really new people, right? Like I met a couple new people this year. I guess I met more than a couple. I met a few good people this year, but like strengthening my existing relationships and like finding hidden gems in those relationships and being able to lean into different people in different ways, which has just been so it's been so great. And like the support I've had for friends in my endeavors has been amazing. um, I've always felt like I don't have a lot of entrepreneurial or creative friends in the way that I'm creative and entrepreneurial. Like for me, I'm all about events and things like that. So like I need for me, I need people to share my stuff, right? Like if I put out merchandise, shameless plug, Black Friday, you can get this t-shirt. It'll be discounted. It's like, what's the word? Reduced is what I was gonna say, but like that sounds like there would be like less of a shirt. But anyway, so we got the black version, we got the brown version, we got all the crew necks, we got hoodies, we got all the things. So yeah, so like for me for doing merchandise, for doing events, like I need people to share links, I need people to share content. This podcast, right? Like I need people to share it so other people will find it, so that people will be interested in being a part or whatever the case is, right? I need people to um yeah, like so that they can discover the things that I'm doing. And a lot of my friends from college who are really good friends to me are not active on social media. So my core group of friends for the most part, they're not active on social media. But what I've found is that they have been so, and even a lot of my friends that are like here locally, a good portion of them are like not active, at least on Instagram. I feel like that's where I really like Instagram. Like I'll be on TikTok a little bit, but like I like Instagram. But like my friends, they're just not there. Like I've got a couple friends who are like social media savvy and like share and repost and do things like that. But like the rest of them, they don't share or repost because they don't get on it, or they don't have it, or it's inactive, or they're fasting from it, or like whatever the case is. So like, but I found ways that they have shown up in different ways, that have been really helpful. So whether it's just coming to an event, whether it's supporting me at the event, whether it's like sharing it with somebody, telling somebody else in their small groups or things of that nature, and even beyond me as a business person and creative, I've had people that just support and love me as the person. I think that's really important for me because I think a lot of times you can tie up your worth in the things that you do. And we say that all the time, like, you are not the things you do. And then, like, that's all really, really special. That's all really, really great. but it's hard to believe sometimes. It just is, especially given like how things go in life. So I've been grateful that there are people who just literally, like, I have this one friend. He calls me, like, we call each other at least like once. We try to do like once a week, and just to check in. And so we'll talk about the business. We'll talk about our personal lives. So I'm grateful for things like that. There are people that I've known forever, and we've reconnected and gotten closer. So grateful for that because you know it's not easy out here. The final thing is I'm grateful for God that He sees me. There's a story in Genesis, the story of Abraham when he um, had Isaac with Sarah. But before that happened, he had another child with his slave Hagar, and I think people like gloss over that part of the story because everyone always talks about Isaac is a child of promise, and he is right. But like Abraham had a child before that because he felt like God told him that he was going to have a child, and he didn't understand how it was going to happen because Sarah had never like she had a closed womb, so like she's never conceived a child. So in his mind, he was like, I don't think that child coming from you. But he was like, well, I could have a child through my servant, my slave, and it would technically be my child. And yeah, so he impregnated Hagar. Like, I think that's the thing. Like, it's not that Hagar was like, hey, I'll have your kid. That's not like that might be how they told it to kids, but like he forced himself upon Hagar essentially. Um, and Hagar had the child, and then once she did like get pregnant and she bore the child, she they named him Ishmael, um, and like long story short, like once she had the child, Sarah got mad essentially because she was able to have the child, and she ran Hagar off, and she was like taunting, like she treated her very terribly, and so they sent Hagar away. So she was like went back to like she was going back to Egypt, and on the way back, the Lord visited Hagar and revealed Himself as El Roy, and was like, I see you. I'm the God who sees. I've seen your affliction, but hey, you got to go back. He sent Hagar back to Abraham, and I think the part of that gets me is like, okay, God, you see me, but that doesn't mean that you're still not going to send me to the situation. And I think that like we want God to see us and deliver us to something else, but sometimes God sees us and He delivers us back to the situation, but He reminds us that He sees us, and I think that's like the really important part. But it's hard to grapple with that and grasp that because we want to be delivered and set free and not have to deal with whatever the thing is, right? Like, God can reveal to you at a job, and you're like, God's like, yeah, but I see you. But then you're like, yeah, but see me to another job. Like, see me elsewhere. But He might be seeing you in the middle of your situation. But as I'm recording this, um, I had a situation that occurred. Had a couple situations that led to some feelings and some like emotions. I was a little overwhelmed this week, honestly. The weekend, honestly, like last week. Yeah, last week was a taxing week. It was a rough week for a variety of reasons, and I was sharing with a friend on the car ride. We went to go to see this young lady that I tutored. Young lady sounds so weird, but like can't call her a girl because she's not a girl. She's a college student. This college student that I used to tutor and used to sing with in church, like used to help like teach her parts and stuff like that. Just so great. And then my friend Tandela, she was like her dance teacher, just like one of her mentors or whatever. So we're going down to Norfolk State, and then that's like a 2.5 hour drive from my house. And so Tandela, just being a good friend, was like, so like, what's been going on? Why are you overwhelmed? What's happening? So I explained to her like all the different things that are going on. And so at church the very next day, because that was Saturday, and then we go to church on Sunday. This made me very uncomfortable, but it also reminded me that God sees me. Like the preacher for the day, one of the elders, she began to like speak into my life, and like not just like I mean, I say whatever. It's my platform. It's my it's my show. That's what people say. It's my show. I'll say whatever I want. There are like prophets out there that are like very very vague. They're not really hearing from God. They're hearing from themselves. Or demons. But anyway, we won't get into that. That's not the type of show. But there are prophets that just will be like, you're gonna be blessed, and God is gonna do this, and God is gonna do that, blah blah blah, and it's like very vague stuff. And it's not to say that I don't think that all of them, like, I don't think that all of them are false. I don't think that all of them are lying, right? That's not me. I do believe in prophecy. Like, I do believe in God's gifts being revealed through the Holy Spirit. But I'm a little skeptical. But the Bible tells you to test prophecy. Again, not that type of podcast, but um when she was talking to me over the pulpit, like, one, it made me uncomfortable, but two, I was like, she's really kind of like speaking into your life and your situation. Like, this is interesting. So I like was listening, and we're not like she knows me, but like she doesn't know me. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not like someone who like I talk to, right? So that's always like a thing for me too. Like, okay, so like, because some people be like that talk, and they be like, oh well, I heard from this person, and then they prophesy like a conversation. That's not prophecy, that's gossip. But again, not the point of this. But after she kind of like she was like, my spirit keeps pulling on you or whatever, and so I received it. I was like, cool. But then at altar call, we go up, and I'm on the praise team, so we sing at the end for altar call, because they called for a lot of people, and people were getting prayed for and things of that. So we go up to like on the stage to sing, and like literally my eyes were closed. I believe my eyes were closed, and I'm like singing like this, like microphone here, like, oh yeah, like singing like, I think God is blah blah blah, blah whatever it was. Sounded better than that, I promise. But she like grabbed my other hand and started praying, and she pulled me closer, and then she started like she was praying, but then she started speaking like literally repeating the conversation from the prior day to me. And I'm like, there's no way that you would have known this, because I haven't talked to you. I highly doubt Tandalis talked to you or anybody in your circle. So I'm like, wow, that's interesting, and like spot on to like situation stuff, like even like stuff that only the Lord would like reveal to us. So I was like, okay, Lord, like, you do see me, because I do think for me, because I'm somebody who serves at a high capacity in a lot of capacities, like, I know the Lord uses me to help other people. Like, I've even known the Lord like to give me encouraging words for other people, and I like enjoy that. That's great. It's great to exhort and encourage the people. That's what we're here for. But like, sometimes it feels like, where's the encouraging word for me? Where is the word for me? Where is the prophecy, the legitimate prophecy for me? Not just like, you're going to be blessed, and you're going to be this, and you're going to be rich, and thank you. So like, how? Because generally prophecy comes with instruction. And so like not that podcast again, but like, she not only encouraged me, but was like, don't give up hope on this. These things may not look like it you want it to look, but like, keep persevering with this. God is with you in this. Like, she was calling out a lot of stuff. So it's like, okay, Lord, like, the things that I was not so grateful for, the things that I was not so excited about, like, you have really reminded me that you see me and you're here. So those are my things that I'm grateful for this year. I'm sure there's more, but those are like the main things that kind of encompass a lot of things. I would love to hear what things that you're grateful for this year, what things that are happening, and to be honest, I would love to know what things that you're not so grateful for. Like, if there are prayer requests, if you drop them in the chat or DM me or email me or whatever, like, I will pray for them, and I will like, and if it's something I can help you with, like, I would love to help you with them. I will. Shameless plug again. I'm gonna be releasing some like consultation times, because again, I like. I always say the Lord gives me a lot of prophecy and strategy, insight for other people. But like, Lord, where is it? Where is it for me? But sometimes I just need to tap in more. But anyway, so I'm gonna be dropping like a Black Friday link for that. So like, for people who have podcasts, for people not pause. I do have a podcast. That's correct. It's not. It is successful because I'm continuing it. It's not successful numbers wise. So it's not like I'm going to be like, how to grow your podcast to 1 million subscribers. No, it's more like how to actually do it, or like how to make it happen, how to be consistent, how to set up a schedule, like what things you need and all that, and this, that, and the third. So like that's something I can work with that, like do it yourself event planning questions, social media, general creativity. Like we can work through like events, things that you want to do, launches of next year, whatever the case. So I will be launching that. So yeah, so but yeah, so like if there's stuff that you need help with and all that, but if not, just come to Carols for a Cause. At this point, we're gonna have a great time. December 7th at 7 p.m. It is free to get in, but I do ask that you bring things that we can donate to the winter shelter. So that would be like underwear, socks, toiletries, hoodies as well. Bring all the things for that because we want to make a big difference in the community. And this, when you get there, like you drop it off at the front, and then we just have a good time. We just play some games. I got some games that are kind of fun, some different things for us to do to have a good time. And yeah, for me, I know at the beginning I asked y'all what your favorite side was. My favorite side would be my mom's mac and cheese, and very specifically my mom's. I think other people can make it and make it pretty good, but my mom's is the best to me. I also like my aunt Ollie's candied yams. She makes the best of those. I think I make it pretty close to hers. There must be something that she's doing that I'm not doing. Um, but like, yeah, those are the ones. And then cranberry sauce, but cranberry sauce from the can, not that real stuff. That disgusting. Like, normally I'm not a fan of like canned stuff, but like for that, yeah, give me the canned stuff. So I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. I will see you next week for another episode. That one, oh, I got a guest for that one. So the first guest that will be aired. I'm really excited for you to see his interview, and we'll be talking about like his creative process, different things. So I got a guest after that, which will be his brother. So really excited for that. So I'm looking forward to finishing off this season strong. Then thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in and commenting. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all the things and whatever. So yeah, until then, happy Thanksgiving and truly Merry Christmas at this point because we're here.